Hello, welcome. I have just eaten the best pear I have ever had in my life. And this beautifully sweet and floral and succulent pear has inspired me to start a YouTube channel devoted to game playthroughs. Or maybe this is something I've been planning on doing for several months and I'm just getting around to for money and timing purposes and going back to school and blah 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 blah. But either way, I'm here. I'm Rausch. This is Rausch Games. You are for some reason here in this dark, lonely corner of the internet, and I swear to God I am going to grab your hand and we're going to get through this together. Starting out with my first video ever, we're going to be playing through Game Dev Tycoon. It is a newer indie game. It is $8. It is quite cheap, and it is quite fully featured for that cheapness. It is a lot of fun to play. It is, as the title suggests, you are a game developer. You start out from nothing at the dawn of the computer wars, and you build your own company up through the age of consoles and, you know, what were essentially the 90s with the Sega Genesis and through and through. Now, I have played this game a few times to date. Trying like hell to make a great company and have not been able to do so yet. I have gone bankrupt every single time, never making it past the age of the original Xbox. So do not look to me as if I am an expert in this game. I promise you I am absolutely not. There are times where I will sound like I am giving you a true Let's Play or a walkthrough. I am not. I'm probably just making up the information I'm giving you. So if you are coming here for advice on how to play and be very good at this game, you're in the wrong place. If you want to come and have some fun, let's stick around. So we're going to get started. We're going to click to continue. We'll get going here. And here we are. That's our garage. That's where we're starting everything. And because I have played through this before, I am going to skip tutorials, and I will just give you my own version of what I think is supposed to happen here. We are going to start off, before I even click anything else, I'm just going to show you what the screen looks like. I can't move this here, so we'll see what the garage looks like in a second. It's just aesthetics, if anything. But up here in the right-hand corner, we're going to get to know this as time goes on. This here is our calendar, these three right here. Year 1, month 1, week 1. That will continue to count up into as far as the game lets me go, I guess. I've never gotten farther than about year 12. Cash, we're starting with 70,000 credits, dollars, whatever you want to call them, simoleons, I don't know. And fans you will gain as time goes on. Cash you use, obviously. You spend money on developing your game. You hope to make that money back in the form of profit after selling your game. Fans you hope to gain from selling good games and putting good games on the market. The better the game, the more fans you accumulate per week of sales. If a game is bad, you will lose fans, and the more fans you have, the higher chance you have to sell a game once it hits the market. So obviously all of this we want to work around with. So we're going to skip the tutorial, yes. And welcome, Dev Tycoon, blah blah blah. Something in my kitchen just fell. Welcome to Game Dev Tycoon. In this business simulation, you've been transported back in time to start your very own game development company right at the beginning of the PC revolution. In the next 30 years, you can build your dream company, create best-selling games, gain fans, and become the leader of the market. Okay. Before you can start your adventure, you have to give your upcoming company a name. Now, as I said, I have played through this before. I am typically very egotistical with my naming of things, as this channel is indeed Rausch Games, and I am Rausch. The company name has typically been something to do with Rausch, whether it's Rausch Tech, Rausch Inc., Rausch, whatever it is, it's had to do that. We're not going to do that this time. We're going to have a little fun with it. We're going to call this Funbox Incorporated, and the player will be Rausch. There we go. Nice and ambiguous and repetitive. And we're just going to get random there. Okay, guy long black hair, and here we're going to go with that vest. Ugh. Okay, we are going to continue now. Pretty sure it's going to ask me to overwrite one of my other saves. Yep, well, overwrite Rausch Tech. Bye-bye. That one's a bankrupt one. So here we are at the beginning. Now I'm immediately going to pause it. You can bring up menus that pause the game just by clicking anywhere on the screen. And it'll always come up. Now you see right off the bat, our only option is to develop a new game. And if we sit here and don't do anything, we're just going to start losing $8,000 a month, because that is your beginning operating cost. That is what your company costs to run when it's just you sitting in your garage. That is as low as your monthly costs will get every month. They can't get any lower than that. So you will lose $8,000 every month by just sitting around. We can't do that. We must develop games. Now before we jump into, stop it. Before we jump into developing games, I want to go over what the rest of the screen is. I mean, obviously we see our garage, we've got what looks like the DeLorean from Back to the Future here, and I'm not sure why we'd have to be a game developer if we had that sitting under a tarp in our garage. We've got our little printout of our recent Pong match over here, and I don't know what side we were playing on. I'm going to presume we're winning 8-6 and not losing 8-6. We've got two wrenches very close to each other, and it seems pretty inefficient. You know, this is our little bit of design here. It's a fun little garage, and it's going to be where we blossom as a company. Now, up here in the top center of our screen, we've got this giant white bar. Whenever we are working on a project, the name of that project, that game, will show up right here. We do get to pick our own names. 4 circles around it. The only one that's highlighted right now is this deep blue research circle. Research is a form of currency all its own in this game. Your cash is separate. You earn your cash from selling your games, you spend your cash on making newer, better games, and research and training your employees as your company grows. Research you gain from creating games. As you sit here typing away on your little laptop, tappa, 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 you're going to gain points that go into research. And as research builds, you can then spend those points on researching new things for your future games. Now, those things can fall into one of 2 general categories. The cheaper category, new topics for games. When you first start out, you've got 4 topics, I believe. We'll see that in a second. Sports, there's racing, there's fantasy. These are game topics. As you go on, you are rewarded with experience multipliers for creating games with new, unused topics before. So, it is in your best interest to research every new topic you can get your grubby little hands on. There are things like werewolf games that you can research, and vampire games, and city games, and romance games, and dance games, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, you can spend research points on that. The second of the general overarching research branches are actual bits of gameplay and technology that will make your games of the future better. As the game moves forward, you will be given an option to create your own custom gaming engine. And these things like steering wheels and game pads and custom backstories and video playthroughs and things like that are other things you can research and then add to your gaming engines as the years go on. The better your engine, the more it offers, the more games you'll sell that use that engine. So you constantly want to be upgrading that. Research points will always be earned and spent. Technology and design are the other 2 byproducts of creating games. As you're sitting tapping away, you'll get your research points. You'll also have points going to technology, design, and this little guy, Bugs, over here to the left. So whenever you're making a game, you'll have these all fill up. Now, the points that go to technology and design are essentially just experience points that are based on the sliders you use to determine what kind of game you'll make, and I'll show you those in a second. The higher the experience here, the better the overall product. I really don't have any expert knowledge on that. I have not read anything about what actually influences these values or what they do to influence the sales of your game, but I have noticed in a very caveman-esque way that better score mean better money, so definitely get that up there, but you want to make sure they stay balanced. You don't want a game that has 25 points in design and 3 in technology. The critics will eat you alive for that. I'll show you the critics afterwards too. And no matter what you do, throughout the course of game development, you will encounter bugs, and they will accrue here. After you finish your stages of development, you'll have to wait to debug everything before you send it to market. Now, you can send it to market with bugs, but it's going to affect the sales negatively. I've never tried it. I don't want to know what happens. I don't want to lose fans over it, but I know that I will not send anything to market if it has even a single bug in this circle. So when you get to the end of development, you spend a few extra minutes, these count down, blah, blah, blah. I have not noticed anything that makes more bugs occur. It seems to make sense that if you are putting styles of gameplay together that don't fit, or if your sliders aren't correct for the style of game that you're making, that more bugs would occur. I'm not sure if that's the case. I can't speak to that, but that's what I'm playing as, so we'll see that. Now we are going to go to our only option, which is develop new game. We're going to start off right away. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the topics we have. Sports, military, medieval, space. Everything else is still locked because we don't have any research points to unlock that. Now, the way I like to play, since my goal is to use every topic, because using new topics gives you experience multipliers for your design and technology, I am going to just go in order, and I'm going to start with sports here in the top left. Next, you have to pick a genre to tie together with that topic. Now, this should seem fairly obvious for most of them, but there are a few that really kind of throw a wrench in the works. But we've all played video games before. We know what go together. We know that a fantasy game is most likely going to be an RPG or an adventure, and we know that a sports game is probably not going to be an RPG. Now, in all actuality, if I'm a company making a game in today's world, this sounds pretty freaking cool. A sports RPG, like, I would love something like that, but this game is going to hate you for it. Just keep it as simple as possible to make the most money you can. So, in this case, sports and simulation are known to work very well together. I mean, Madden, look at that friggin' series, it's crazy. So we're going to put those together, and next we have to pick the platform that we're going to run this game on. In the early stages, you've only got two options here, because this is the age of computers. You've got the G64, the poor Commodore 64, and you've got the, all-around PC. Now, you'll see each of these has a developer's cost attached to it, as well as a market share. That is the percentage of the market of gamers that it caters to. That's the number of people in the market that own this platform. So right now, with my insider information, I will tell all of you new players of Game Dev Tycoon that the G64 is indeed the Commodore 64, and it does die off pretty fast, and everybody's sad about it. But right before it dies, it's got a huge bit of the market share, so your advantage, even though it costs a little bit more, a lot more, technically, since we only start with 70,000, it's a difference of 15, that's a good bit. It is your advantage to start out with the G64 and appeal to that 56.1% of the market right off the bat, because things are going to get harder as you're picking consoles in the future when something like the Game Boy or the Dreamcast or whatever names they give them in this game, as they start to hit the market share goes down, and picking one of those, you're not going to appeal to as many possible fans. Here, you make a great game on this 56.1%, you're going to get a crap load of fans to buy your next game no matter what happens. So you really want to stick to this. That's my advice. I'm going G64 all the way. I'll pay $20K for it. So we've got those three. We are, of course, going to name it. For a sports simulation, let's go with Zamboni Driver. Yeah, there we go. That's going to be a top-selling game. So the next thing, feature selection. Now off the bat, there isn't too much to go with. It's basically just, what kind of graphics do you want? Text-based or 2D? I used to start with text-based just to save that $5,000 per game. I'm not doing that anymore. The better options you give the people that buy your game, the more likely they are to buy again, and the more fans they're going to generate for you. They're going to tell their friends, and they're going to buy Zamboni Driver, and it's going to go platinum, and they're going to hang it on their walls and get posters, and everyone's going to run home from school and play Zamboni Driver all day. And, you want 2D graphics, essentially. That's what I'm doing. So we're going to start development. And he's immediately going to go, you're going to watch it, these bubbles are going to pop out, they're going to go to all those circles I talked about, and we've reached development stage 1. Now here we play with the sliders that I have talked about. Right off the bat, they're all going to start even. These represent the amount of time you're spending on each of these 3 topics during your development of Zamboni Driver, or whatever game you're making. So right now, equal time is spent on the game's engine, the gameplay, and the story and quests. You want these to make sense for the style of game that you're playing. So a sports simulation game, you're not going to get much by way of story and quests. We're going to drop that way down. My phone's going off, I apologize. ESPN loves giving me those. The gameplay I am going to bump up, and the engine I'm going to bump up a little bit under that. Now, this is where the science and the art of the game really come in. This is where your sales and your huge ratings are going to come from. You've just got to know how to get these right, and I don't. If I get a game that hits a 9, I throw confetti in the air, but typically I'm a 7 or 8 kind of guy, if anything. So anyway, that's development stage 1. We're going to move along. Bubbles are going to go. They're probably influenced by the way that you choose your sliders, how even they stay. Right now we've got a perfect 4-4 designed to technology. That's a nice mix there. And now we've got 3 more options for the second stage: dialogues, level design, and artificial intelligence. Level design, I'm picturing the ice on those 2D graphics on my G64. I really want to be able to see what it's like to drive the Zamboni out there. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to talk to too many people because it's a sports game, and all I'm doing is smoothing the ice down so that the Philadelphia Flyers can win the Stanley Cup, obviously. And then the artificial intelligence here, I'm going to keep that just a little bit higher because, you're competing against the other Zamboni drivers, and you got to make yourself the best one, but they can't be too hard. It's got to be a beatable game for our first one. So we're going to keep going. There's our first monthly cost of $8,000, drops us down to $32. and we're keeping the bubbles going. We've already got 2 bugs, but that won't be a problem. And then we get to development stage 3, and you get another feature option. It reminds you that you've used 2D graphics. I don't know why they put that there, I'm not quite sure. But then you also get your sound option at the end. Now right now, you automatically start out with a basic sound pack. You can indeed remove this from the game and save yourself $5,000. I'm not going to. I'm going to give it sounds because it lets me kind of turn the sound down a little bit if I want to, whatever. And it still gives them a feature to be happy about when they're buying the game. I am going to bump my graphics up, and the world design I can drop a little bit. I'm not worried about the world. And we'll see. Now that is it. You get 3 stages. We'll see what my ratings are like. We'll see if I did the sliders well. We'll see if sports and simulation match up correctly. Now before I hit finish, I'm going to make sure those bugs count down to 0, which they have, and now we finish. We got another design point out of that. That works for me. And we got 22 research as well. So here are your bonuses. This is what happens when you put combos together. New topic, you get a bonus for that. It starts you out at 1.2 times the experience down here for each of these. New combo is the topic to the genre, where here it was sports to simulation, where the topic was sports. And then you get a further bonus if you choose a great combo. Now these are hidden to you until you actually find them, but I know sports and simulation work because I've been playing sports games my whole friggin' life. So I knew that was going to happen. We got a 1.6 multiplier, and everything really kind of jumped up on us there. Good. Things are chugging along towards level 2. You yourself can level up, and as you level up, you get training options for you and your staff. It's pretty cool how deep this game gets for the $8 price. Now, before we do anything else, before the game goes out to ratings, we've got 22 research points. We're going to dive into researching. Now, in the beginning, you've only got 2 options. You can research that custom game engine, but it costs 50 points, so we're not there yet. So what I'm going to do is make sure that since I need as many of these topics unlocked as I can get, I'm just going to go in line. So we're going to click on racing. It's going to cost us 10. I'm going to start the research, and there's that blue bar. He's going to be researching right along. Now here it is, the reviews for our first ever game, Zamboni Driver. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? I'm saying 6s. Yep, look at that. Could have been more. Oh, 7 right off the bat. Not bad. Good game. Good game. I like this. Can we get a 6.5 overall? Can we? Yes, we got a 6.5. Look at that. All right, that is a good start. I don't think I've ever started out that well before. So we're going to close. He's going to research, and then over here, you're going to see the sales pop up right after this bit of news goes away. But this is just saying, oh, Funbox is new, Zamboni Driver. It's got favorable reviews, blah, blah, good. And over here, the sales pop up, and you get to see how much it goes per week. Oh, that is a great first week for a game. I mean, as you move later in, you're going to get 100,000 in a week maybe, but 7.4 thousand, maybe the most I've ever sold in the first week. It debuted ranked number 23 on the charts, got us $51,000, not bad. This is good. And it's going to stay up there for, I think, 2 months, maybe more. I've never actually counted it out, but now we've got 29 fans right off the bat as well, so that's 29 more people that are probably going to buy our next game. So we'll let these all play out. And it looks like he's done that research as well. There's our 10,000th unit sold for Zamboni Driver. There's our milestone. And there it is. Yes, the research is complete on racing. So now we've got the new topic. We're going to jump right into a new game because, yes, we've already got $97,000. This is fantastic. But I want to develop a new game immediately. I want to keep making money. So I'm just going to go with the next topic. We're going to go military here. I like military strategy games. I used to love the original Company of Heroes, and I'm excited for the new one that's coming out. Oh man, this is going to be fun. So, military strategy. We're going to call this Blood Brothers because, that sounds pretty generic and worthwhile. And we're going to stick with the G64 because it's still got a very high piece of the market share. You will never see 56% again. You'll be playing the rest of this game at a maybe 15% market share with whatever console you choose. So use the fans while you can get them here. We're going to go with this on the G64. We're going to go next. Keep it 2D graphics. I'll spend the $5K there. Start development on it. He's going to get those bubbles going. And Zamboni Driver is going to keep selling over here. It's very fast-paced. We're already, the 4th month of our first year. We're moving right along. And now here we're going to have to adjust our sliders because a military and strategy game is very different from a sports simulation game. So the story and quests in a strategy, I've never been able to get this one right where it should be, so I'm just going to put it to halfway, and we'll see what happens there. The gameplay I can keep right there, if not even bump up a little more. The engine, I'm going to bring down just a tad. I don't see strategy games moving as fast as sports games, so that's my logic. I don't know if the game thinks the same way. We'll find out. And now we're through stage 1. And more bubbles, more sales, $10,000 more dollars, almost at $100,000. And actually, you can click anytime to see your game history. And what this shows you is the games that you have made. Now, the older games will be over to the right-hand side, clicking on the right arrow. Now, Zamboni Driver is the only one we've ever had released, so it's the only one we can see. But you can see all the critical information on the games, and it's kind of cool to see your whole history played out on one screen. You can see the total number of units it sold, how much it cost you to make in red, the total income of it right there, how much money you made from the sales, and then how much of that was profit based on how much the game cost you. So even though Zamboni Driver is not off the market yet, it's already got us almost $100,000 profit, and I've never been able to do that for my first game release, so I'm pretty happy about that. Got a 6.5 review score, 69 fans and counting because it's still on the market, and it peaked at number 23 on the sales rank, which is really, really cool. I like that. And you get to see what system you released it for. So, like I said, we're going to spam everything on the G64 while that is still around, because it's going to die shortly after the Invento comes out, and we're going to have to start dealing with some lower market shares. But anyway, back to game development. Dialogues and military strategy, I'm going to keep them right where they were for sports. Level design, I'm going to bump up a good bit. Artificial intelligence, I'm going to bump up a good bit too. I think those work out. I'm trying to think of Company of Heroes right here, so whatever. And we move on. We're in stage 2 now. He's got his bubbles. He's thinking he's already got 4 bugs. I'm not doing something right on those sliders, I think. And here we are, world design. We're going to bump that. Graphics, we're going to keep that up. Sound, maybe. We'll see. Everything's good. I'm happy with that. Put them up. Probably get another, 5 or 6 games, something middle of the road. We'll see what happens. 8 bugs to get through, so we're just going to wait until that's good to go. It'll let us get a little more experience in design and technology. Zamboni Driver's still selling away. That's off the market. There we go. $147,000 in sales. Not bad. And bugs are done. We're going to put this game out to market now. Blood Brothers. Set a new record in design experience. New topic, new combo. And it's a great combo, so we get the full 1.6 modifier again. That's good. Some things are going to start to approach level 2 now, which is great. Again, as these things level up, these are, your graphics are well designed, each bit of your development, that's automatically going to be added to your games to go to market, and the games are going to be that much better and that much more appealing. So we're going to release this game for sure. I have never trashed a game. I don't know why I would. Here are the first reviews for Blood Brothers. See some misleading 10s flashing on the screen. There's a 6. There's a 7. All right, I like this. We could get another 6.5 out of this. Oh, another 7. Get a 6.75 maybe. All right, that's a new record for ratings for us. I'll take that. Again, not setting the world on fire, but now we're going to jump right back into research. We still don't have enough for custom game engine, so we're going to get our next topic, which is fantasy. Start the research on that, and we'll watch Blood Brothers start to sell. See if it can beat the Zamboni Driver. This guy is impressed with Blood Brothers. He just finished it, even though it hasn't even been on the market for a full week, and I would like to think we made a pretty long game there. But if we're ever short on cash, we can go to this guy for contract work, which I will show you in just a moment once this research is done. And Blood Brothers is selling along. We've got 129,000. We've hit 100 fans. This is good. This is a bit of the mislead here, in case you don't know anything about video game history. Recent market studies suggest that the Commodore G64 is steadily outselling competitors in the PC sector. Consumers prefer the lower price, greater availability, and the flexible hardware configuration over other home computers. It tries to make you think it's going to be around forever. This might spell the end of competing hardware manufacturers, but it won't, because the G64 dies when Nintendo comes out. Spoiler alert! And he is finished the research on fantasy, so now let's do this. I want to show you contract work before we end this episode. Now, you go into contract work, and these are things where you make a little bit of quick cash, essentially. So you're going to have your options. You can scroll through them. They're all a little bit different. Each one has different requirements, and I'm going to run through those now. You'll see that these circles are the same color as your design and technology circles, and this is your amount of time you have to work on the contract. The time will kind of tick away up here and go from right to left. Basically, you're going to sit at your computer and you're going to fill these bubbles up until 12 and 6 count down to 0. And if you have to do it within 5 weeks. If you do it within 5 weeks, you get $21,000. If you fail, you lose $6,000. Kind of a gamble and a quick way to make cash. I don't think I can do this much work by myself in 5 weeks. I'm not too sure that I can. I'm not experienced enough yet. But I saw over here we've got lower numbers. Now 8 and 4 seems more reasonable, but you've only got 3 weeks. I'm really not comfortable with that either. Let's check the last one. 9 and 10 in 5 weeks. I'm still not comfortable. I'd rather wait to do contracts until I have somebody working for me, and frankly, we're not short on cash right now for this stage in the game, so I'm not going to do anything yet. I don't want to lose any money, but now we are immediately going to start developing our next game. Pick topic. We're going to go medieval. Medieval, we are going to... Let's make it an RPG. Let's go for it. I'm going to call this Skull Splitters. Yes. And the platform is still going to be the G64. It's actually increased the market share. It's widening the gap between it and the PC. So we're going to stick with it, of course. We're going to stick with 2D graphics as well. And it's going. And here we are at, sorry about that, at development stage 1. Now for an RPG, I'm going to bring the engine down a little bit. Gameplay, keep it up right there. Story and quests through the roof. And we're gonna keep going. Hopefully, get some good. Now I wanna compare Blood Brothers to Zamboni Driver, because Blood Brothers was technically rated better. It's only got a profit of $29.3 thousand. You can see the sales of it have really tailed off in recent weeks. It debuted at number 56, got us 32 fans so far. So far, Zamboni Driver has blown it out of the water. I'm not really sure why. It was critically well received, but I mean, this is the fickle gaming industry too. As you move forward in the game, you'll notice that there are age groups you can appeal to. You have to research all that stuff, but there are reasons that some people will buy your games or some people won't buy your games even though they're well received. So, it's kind of cool how they incorporate that into the game too. You get like cult classics and things like that. We're going to keep moving right along. Development stage 2 now for an RPG. Dialogue's way up. Level design, we'll drop it and keep it with dialogues, and AI you can drop down. RPGs are easy. And we're going to keep going along with that. Hopefully this is a good enough slider combination. I'm not worried about getting a blockbuster yet. It would be nice, but, I'm shooting in the dark every time I do this. So here, world design, I love to keep it up for an RPG. Graphics I can bring down. There's not a whole lot that happens motion-wise. Sound, we'll keep it where it is. Let's just go with that. Blood Brothers is about to come off the market, it looks like. Yep. Only 91,000 in sales. Let's see what the profit on that was. 45K, not huge, but we still got $140,000 total. We're doing okay. Now we're going to work the bugs out of Skull Splitters and hopefully put that to market. Uh-oh, according to rumors, the Japanese company Ninvento is planning to launch its very own home gaming console. Ninvento is known for the widely successful arcade game Dinky King. I wonder what that's lampooning. Many industry experts doubt that home gaming consoles will take off, but we are eager to see what Ninvento will deliver. Yeah, spoiler alert, we're going to jump right on that. And let's get that last bug. We're finished. Let's send Skull Splitters to the market. Got a new record in design. Alright. And a great combo again, so we got the full multiplier. Lots of stuff up to level 2 this time. There we go, that's what I want to see. Lots of experience points. It's not over 100, I'm not happy about it. Like intelligence, art of AI right there, but it was an RPG, so what are you gonna do? And we'll release the game, and again, we still don't have 50 research, so we're gonna research another new topic. That's going to be pirates. Excellent pirate game. We'll research that while Skull Splitters goes to market. We'll see what the reviews are. Here they come. Okay, let's click on that. 6. We're right in our wheelhouse. Ooh, down to a 5. Got my sliders off, methinks. Oh, there's a 7. Okay. No, not bad. So it's a 6.25, I think. Right? 6.25? Yeah, Skull Splitters comes in at 6.25. We'll see how well it sells. Just trying to make little increases in cash. Not going to set the world on fire yet. And we have officially researched pirate games, which is great, and now we are going to develop our new game. We're going to get one more in. We're going to do that, so we will pick topic. That is going to be space now. Space action. I'm thinking asteroids. I'm thinking all those great old arcade games, trying to play those at home. We're obviously going to stick with the G64, almost 58% market share. And we're going to call this... I don't know, what are we going to call this? Damn Martians, because I don't know how to name anything. Alright, start development on that. Let's go. Moving right along. We've got Skull Splitters doing okay over there, 77th on the charts. We're up to $163,000, not bad. 146 fans, people know, you know, Funbox Incorporated, they're getting to know the name. We've almost made it to our first year. We've got a lot of games that went out this year, that's great. So for an action game, we're going to bring the engine right back up, where we're going to have lots of frenetic things happening. Gameplay we're going to keep up, but story and quests we can balance and bring that down. And keep that development train chugging right along. There we go. We're up to number 2. Dialogues. We'll drop those back down to a reasonable level for an action game. I want to drop them all the way down. Screw it. It's aliens. They're not going to talk to each other. Level design we're going to keep up, and AI we're going to bump way up. We're going to make this a pretty difficult game. I like that. Show the world we can, you know, put something out they don't have to beat. Today, Ninvento has confirmed recent rumors and announced their plans to release a new home gaming console called TES early next year. This console features cartridge-based games and a uniquely designed controller. So that's it. That's the Nintendo. The NES is coming out, guys. It's time to switch over from the G64. Development stage 3. We've still got our sound pack and all that good stuff now. Graphics are going to go way up. I'm going to drop the world design, but not by a whole lot. And the sound I'll bring up a little bit too, so you can hear the alien guts exploding everywhere and your little processors and all that good stuff. ESPN is giving me more Tiger Woods alerts. That's who that is. Now let's work through these bugs. And look at this. 13 design, 13 technology. This is the highest experience total we've gotten off a game yet. This is going to be nice. Oh, Skull Splitters is off the market. Got $109,000 in sales. I actually want to check out right before we go to the next menu. $55,000 in profit. Okay. So it's starting to become apparent that our first game, Zamboni Driver, with that $101,000 in profit, was something of an anomaly. And it was great. It got us on our feet, the best way possible. And Skull Splitters cost a little bit more money for us, but we put a little bit more into it. And here we go. Let's see what we get. It's a new record. I love it. And this is a perfectly balanced game. I think the critics are going to like that a lot. There we go. Story is up to level 2. AI got a lot of experience that time. We made a nice hard game. And there we go. We're going to release it. We're going to send it out to market. And, oh, the reviews are in. I forgot. There we go. What do we got? Give us something good. Another 6. Another 6. Nice, middle of the road, slightly above average game. This is how you build a foothold. Don't tear the walls down. Just knock on the door politely. Oh, okay, no, that's good. It's another 6.75. Now, before we let that go any further, I am going to get my research on. Custom game engine we can finally do. Now, this is not going to give us an engine, but researching this now is going to give us the ability to make an engine in future episodes, which we're going to have to live with, because I'm about to walk away as Dem Martians is taken off. I have to go get my laundry. I'm going to say, we're going to stop here. We're going to save it. I'm going to go get my laundry. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. You enjoy the rest of yours. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.